Alrighty, well, it's time. We knew it was coming. The ship stats blog for the Typhoon. New T6 ship that will be available in an event that will start on PC next week. Probably like a month from now for console, but whatever. That's how it is now. Yeah, veterans who haven't heard of it. Yeah, because it is a still original ship design that has been around since launch era. And you actually can see one or two of them still in the game. Most of the stuff that they were involved with is deprecated content that has been removed from the game. Like Battle Group Omega had Typhoons as some of the NPC ships. Yeah, not anymore. That actually created a bug where there's a mission where you get a Borg bridge officer that requires you to go to Battle Group Omega in person. And if you can't do that, you can't turn in the mission to get the bridge officer. Supposedly, there's another way to get the bridge officer, but I've seen cases where characters were unable to do that. So I'm not sure that it's actually available to all characters at this point in the game, which is rather unfortunate because it's actually one of the better Borg bridge officers. At least in ground combat. It doesn't have any space traits. It actually starts with 4 superior traits, which is weird, but it's what it is. Anyways, so the Typhoon was an NPC ship that was one of those, captain rank or whatever um, enemies were. Here. Oh, okay. This shows 3 bars for the NPC rank. So yeah, wouldn't find these in a group of enemy ships usually. Like, you'll have 3 frigates. Well, each of those is a 1-bar ship. We might find a frigate and a science vessel. Well, one's a 1-bar ship and the other's a 2-bar ship. This is a 3-bar ship. Usually it's by itself. Now, um, the appearance of the old NPC Typhoon, the new one is vaguely similar. I honestly can't say it's the same ship design. I mean, it's the same shape of ship design and uh, continues with many of the unique design elements, like whatever this weirdly shaped neck is that is preserved in the new one. Except it adds a little bit of a literal wrinkle to the weirdly shaped neck, but whatever. The double the cells are also a feature they kept, but they changed the shape of them to something completely new. Now, I'm not going to say I dislike the new one. It looks cool. It's not the same ship. That's all. Wait, hold it. This is the Molly. That's another thing that's deprecated content. The old mirror invasion thing had named hero ships, some of which had names that players didn't understand. Molly was apparently named after Chief O'Brien's daughter, Molly, because Mirror O'Brien was one of the major NPCs in the Terran Empire storyline back then. He has apparently since then been deposed by whoever or something. But what? Yeah, he since he was one of the main NPCs, he got a ship named after him. Anyways, yeah, they announced that they're not going to give us the ability to use the old version of the ship because the old version of the ship is incompatible with the way that the costumes are currently built. So they would literally have to rebuild the costume for the old ship, and it's, too low detail for them to want to do that. Which, Okay, I kind of understand why you want to not give us the old cruddy one, but I liked it. Anyway, moving on. Oh yeah, here we have an interior map from a Typhoon in a mission that used to be part of the Cardassian struggle story arc because it actually tied the Cardassian struggle stuff into the Undine infiltration nonsense because it revealed that the Undine had actually been messing with the True Way. Yeah, bit weird. See, here you find a ship that has been taken over by the Undine, who are pretending to be Starfleet officers and going around causing havoc. So you board the ship and do everything you can to make them stop and, try to find out as much as you can about what they were doing. Noteworthy is the fact that this is an interior for a Typhoon battleship, because that's what the Undine took over, a Typhoon. Yeah, I just thought it would be cool to throw that in there because there is actually a canonical look at what the interior of a Typhoon battleship looks like, at least when it's being commanded by the Undine, anyways. I mean, pretty standard for the 2409 era Starfleet interiors, honestly. Anyways, so let's look at the actual ship stats and stop reminiscing about the past. Yeah, blogs, whatever. So, as was expecting, this is a heavy cruiser. It is, however, a 5.3 heavy cruiser. The old version was apparently a 4.4, even as an NPC. But also, it has device slots 3, which is odd because of the fact that true heavy cruisers usually have 4. 3 device slots is more of what I would expect for a battle cruiser, not a heavy cruiser, which does actually fit with the fact that the Typhoons were replaced as NPC ships with a battle cruiser design. So it's possible they decided to respec this to be more like the battle cruisers that replaced the Typhoon than the original Typhoon itself. Yeah, because he says like this is what it was replaced with as an NPC mob, which is the Concord Presidio slash Geneva line of ships. However, those are not 5.3 ships. Yeah, it's not the same um, stats that one of those ships has. Then, huh? I don't know. The 5.3 and 3 devices is strange to me on this ship. It doesn't really make sense to me. The command slash temporal seating. Full spec temporal on an event ship is actually really good because it has a cruiser command relay and the molecular reconstruction ship gimmick for a proper full spec temporal build. That is nice. And this has tactical seating with command, so this is a ship that would actually be relatively good at torpedo builds, despite being a space whale. Although it turns faster than I would expect from a Federation heavy cruiser as well, so it's not as much of a whale as the original one was. Yeah, that's something that seems drastically different from how I was expecting it to go. 4 technical, 4 engineering, 3 science. That actually makes a lot of sense because of the fact that when you look at the bridge officer stations, they're pretty evenly split. It's like you have Lieutenant Commander Tactical, Commander Engineering, Lieutenant Commander Science. That's it. Like, that's very, very evenly split. Um, Now the ship mastery package is the sort of, well, it's actually labeled battle cruiser, which, like I said, is like this thing seems to be getting statted like a battle cruiser for some reason, and that's not exactly what the original ship was, to my understanding. But whatever. The ability is to create this photon web. Apparently, it's a moving hazard that damages enemies that it contacts. And the damage that it does, it can actually hit targets 3 times uh, per second, which is actually pretty cool because it does multiple overlapping beams. It's not a single source of damage, it's a whole bunch of them. Which, interesting idea. I'm curious how quickly it moves, though. Does it think it moves? Yes, it says creates expanding net, damages and holds. Travels up to 10 kilometers in the direction you're facing, which I suspect this means that it might work in terms of targeting the same way that projected singularity does. Projected singularity always flies flat parallel to map zero. So it doesn't matter whether you're facing up or facing down, it will always fly sideways. It will not copy whether you're angled up or angled down. It just moves straight forward. It does, however, copy cardinal directions. If you're facing north, it fires north. It just fires straight north, not up or down. This, I suspect, based on the way it's worded, sounds very similar to that. And I do wonder if you could combine this with projected singularity. Pull enemies into the web, perhaps. That's a thing to ponder later, I suppose. Anyway, piggyback launch tubes. This is an interesting one because the old 4-4 layout for the original Typhoon as a proper heavy cruiser is the sort of thing that I would not expect to have a torpedo trait. However, this new one is much more agile and thus something. Also, it has command seating, which has over the years proven to be quite good for a torpedo launch platform, as you can do concentrate firepower on a command seat. And noteworthy with this one, though, is that this is a trait that does not reward you for getting big hits with torpedoes. This is a trait that actually relies on firing torpedoes repeatedly. Yeah, microcharges launched and fired alongside your ship's standard torpedoes. Every time you fire one or more torpedoes, it also fires a microcharge, but it only gives you one microcharge per target hit. It doesn't matter how many torpedoes you fire with your attack. So if you use high yield 3, the microcharge does the same amount of damage that it would if you were firing an ordinary unmodified torpedo. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. Um, the idea is something I'm genuinely curious to see what people will do with because, well, like I said, it seems to be designed to benefit rapid fire torpedoes, things where you just spam them constantly, which, okay. Also, torpedo spread 1. This will give you 1 microcharge per target hit, apparently, I think. Oh, wait, no. Only fires at your primary target. I missed that earlier. Okay, so under torpedo spread, only the primary target that you have targeted will receive an additional projectile. The other targets won't. Hmm. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so yeah, this would definitely be something for rapid torpedo spam then. I'm kind of curious exactly how much this will actually accomplish, because we don't have numbers on how much damage it does. But we'll see, I guess, in a little while. Alrighty then. Well, that's about it for this. It's very interesting. I was not expecting them to make what was one of the biggest, toughest, slowest battleships in the game into a torpedo boat. I genuinely have to question why. Please, devs, if you are listening, please explain to me why you made this thing into a torpedo boat. Anyways, see you guys later.